WFM 91.7.
Good morning. It is 7 minutes past 9 on your Women Radio 91.7, and you're welcome to another beautiful edition of Panorama. Of course, Panorama is where we have the ladies from different geopolitical zones come together to discuss, dissect, and disagree on topical issues. And yes, we're back from the weekend break. Today is Monday, October 23, 2023. I like the way that sounds. Yeah. So we are back here discussing topical issues. And as always, the ladies are going to be joining this morning as we get to discuss topical issues. My name is Esther Alaribe. The phone lines are open 07000 917 917, or you can send us a text or a WhatsApp message 070 317 56537. Yes, you can listen live via the website www.wfm917.com. Download the mobile app to listen live, WFM 917. This morning, I'm going to be speaking to Ibinabo Dixon. Good morning, Ibinabo. How are you doing? I hope your weekend was restful. I hope you feel a lot better than you felt last week. I hope you're ready to take on this new week and be productive. How are you doing?
Yeah, good morning, Esther, our Honorable Minister for Happiness.
Thank you. I see they wait for SUV. Thank you.
May you join your fellow members now. I'm going to give you. My people. And all our valued listeners, I say a very beautiful morning and a great week ahead. Okay, so my weekend, I didn't even know when it passed, I'm telling you.
So it means you were having so much fun then?
I was busy, Sean. Everything. All a 40-row egusi soup, ogbono, everything join. It was a mixed grill of, having fun.
Okay.
And then being busy working. When you work, when you are self-employed, you don't get to say, okay, this is weekend, I'm not going to work.
Of course. Yeah, I know that.
You have to attend to some things, even you're supposed to be resting. But the mindset with which you do it is what matters here. You do it on a lighter note, not with all of the pressure and all
that comes with with weekdays. Yes.
But I had a beautiful weekend, and I'm very hopeful for the new week. It's beautiful, it's peaceful, and we are taking. How do I put it now?
One step at a time.
Exactly.
Okay.
One step at a time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ibinabo. I had my weekend was peaceful, I would say, and restful as well. I spent the weekend with my colleague Taiwo Adeleye with a mutual friend. So we had the weekend was good. Yes, the weekend was good. Catching up on old gists, movies, talking about Nigeria, talking about the society, people, and different things that we get to see. Catching up on social media gists. Yes, all of that. It was interesting and actually very, very relaxing. Even though, of course, I had to do a bit of work in between. But like you said, on a more relaxed note, not necessarily the whole hustle and bustle of the weekday. So yes, it felt so good. And of course, you can tell that when you do a lot of resting, you put yourself in a better state, you are able to function better in the course of the new week. I don't know if you've observed that, Ibnabo. Like when you have you've had a restful weekend, the new week is more productive. You are able to think clearly. You don't feel overwhelmed already before the week starts.
Esther, you talk about rest. In this time that we are in, so many things happening. We are all quite strapped. We're just trying, you understand? Having a restful day or weekend has to be something one is very deliberate about.
Yeah.
Because there are times, it's like, my people will say, when you are sleeping and your eyes are moving up and down, it's like you're not sleeping. Some people, when they are asleep, they mumble a few things in their sleep. When you watch them asleep, you will see that their eyeballs underneath the eyelids are rolling up and down. Then you wonder, are you actually sleeping?
Are you sleeping?
So everything we do to rest, to calm our nerves down, has to be deliberate. You have to deliberately take some time to rest. and tell yourself, I want to rest, and make sure you actually, get that rest that your body needs. And to digress a bit, Esther, if you can give me just some moments.
Okay.
Now, I was taking a walk in my cousin's area. I went there for a program, so I was just taking an evening walk with my cousin, and I saw this woman. No, there was this woman and her daughter. That girl shouldn't be. She's not up to 12. She should be around anything below 12, between 10 and 11. So they were taking a walk, and they were talking, and the little girl was now pulled her mom from the road and put her to the inner part, and she now stepped to where her mom was. Like, a responsible man should protect his wife. When you're taking a walk with your wife, you should be on the outer part and she should be on the inner part, or wherever you're walking, whether you're on the street or on the path or whatever. Just make sure that you put her where she's safe. That was exactly what the girl did.
Okay.
So, and the mother said, hey, come on. And she was just... So I found it very interesting. And me, sometimes, they no go beat me one day,
Also, ask.
After they put him out, I'm waiting to concern me. So I said, good evening, madam. She said, good evening. And I said, you have a very lovely daughter. She said, thank you. I said, your daughter is so caring. Look at her age. She's so little. And she's already looking out for your safety and everything. And you are busy repelling. Don't do that next time. Understand? Always accept when she's being nice so that she gets used to being good
to people.
Understand? She thanked me, and then we slowed down, so they walked ahead of us. My cousin was like, I be you, safe.
You go share talk.
As we were progressing in our walk, in our stroll, with a stroll, the mom started a conversation. I didn't quite hear it, but what he said was, the girl was talking about party that, people are coming back from party. They are. You want a party? Let your grandma die now. When she died, that was huge. That was terrible. And the girl said, I'm on me. And I just decided I told my cousin to pause. Let them walk far away from us. I don't want to hear this woman again. This woman is too toxic. And I feel I felt so bad for the little girl, because this is a little girl that has a good heart. Her mother is going to pollute everything she has for her. How could you say that to your daughter? Because she talked about party. People are coming from party. It's different. You are taking a walk. You're observing everything around you. I mean, a girl said that, and the best thing a mother could respond to what her daughter said was, you like parties. Let your grandmother die now, so that, not grandmother now. Let your father's mother die. Yaki baba, ya baba eku. Oh my God! I felt like walking up to her and, like, what kind of a woman are you?
See, Ibinabo, I think that a lot of people, sometimes they do these things unconsciously. You know the way you get to gist and talk to your friends and just have those kind of banters with your friend. When people now get to talk to children or younger people who should not have certain perceptions yet, they still carry on with the same thing. And again, when we're talking about the little girl looking out for the mother and the mother having to repel her and all of that, I was even going to throw a shade somewhere in and be like, I don't know why older people, this one, I'm standing on the side of the Gen Zs this morning. I don't know why older people find it, I don't want to say they sometimes behave like they are immune to some kind of love or care. When you're trying to do something for them, they're always like, no, it's okay. Don't worry, I can do it myself. But the funny thing, after they do it by themselves that they wanted to do, they go around complaining about how you don't help them, how you don't support them and all. But you're just trying to be nice to them. They're not receptive to it. And that's why you have a lot of young people these days having to tell you things like, I cannot stay in the same space with my mother. I cannot stay too long with my father, and all of that whole conversations. And it seems as though these younger people these days, they have like a very, very strong will. And if they say they are not going to do it, they won't bend. So I don't know, maybe you want to tell us about the people of your own generation and the older people, exactly why they get to do this. Because that little girl you painted in this picture now, talking about that scenario, probably has seen people do that for other people. Or maybe her mother has also done that for her over time, where she takes her off the road and she was just trying to pay back that act of kindness. But the mother will not just let her be. So possibly that child might not do the same thing again tomorrow.
It's sad. It's sad that some people are like that. I don't belong to that set of people, because if I could observe it from another person, then imagine if it has to do with me directly. I've always been a loving child to my parents, because my parents gave a lot to take care of us. So I'm that kind of person. I was that kind of a child, and I'm that kind of a mother. I would love my children to look out for me. I would love my children to do things for me. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm a total success of a mother. You understand? So those people who do that, we need to understand where they are coming from, because, I mean, you don't push away good deeds. You don't reject what is good, because if you're not quick to understand good behavior, then how do you appreciate it? So if you have people like that, it's unfortunate, because I'm the kind of person that I am very, very appreciative of every little thing. Every little thing. Sometimes if you're around me, you think that, now what? No. When my children do anything for me, I'm quick to tell them thank you. Even if I just finished arguing with you and putting you right, and then I say, okay, go and do this for me, and you come back and tell me, okay, I've done it. I don't find it difficult to say thank you. It comes easy with me. So you see, as much as I agree on one part that there are parents who are like that, I think some parents have not paused to enjoy the good deeds from their children. Like, sometimes, you know what sometimes the problem is, maybe this child is always this child is totally problematic. It's like, oh my goodness, did I give birth to you? Did I give birth to you actually? Are you a child?
Okay.
And then, if in the midst of all of that, this child throws in some show of cares sometimes, please be quick to accept it and acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are so many ways of training a child.
Yes.
Showing gratitude, appreciating good deeds is part of it. So that was why that woman was completely like, who is this? I don't even want to know her. You understand? I just felt bad for that little girl. Parents should be conscious of everything they do with their children. I know that there are some children that, you see, if you go to some homes, the problem they have with their children is one, and that is they cannot condone the laziness of children. And that is where they will have issues with their parents, especially the mother, who is always around, or at least mostly around the children. So it is imperative that Gen Zs don't continually display this attitude of laziness. If you remove laziness from other things, I think children will enjoy their parents more. But those parents who can't even appreciate those little things, I feel bad for them, because when my children go to the supermarket and they come back home and they bought something for me, it's like, it's a big deal to me. It's a big deal to me. There was a time my daughter bought me this particular air freshener. She said, Mommy, you can put this in your restroom, you know. I was happy. It was like, here in the shopping, she remembered me good. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
if I was going to buy air freshener for my restroom, I will buy the one that is of higher quality. But she bought the one that was within her.
Something she can afford.
You understand? The gesture is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it should be appreciated. It should be appreciated.
I hope that a lot of parents out there actually get to listen to this and take it on, because it just seems as though trying to connect with them sometimes, that's why you get to hear people say things like, oh, the Gen Zs, because you don't get to sit to have conversations with them, engage them, and know why they do the things that they do and what they would rather have you do. But we'll keep talking. And in light of this conversation, I think it's just time we talk about this one, talking about the women, repositioning women for greater impact. Now, Women Radio 91.7 in partnership with Voice of Women Voice of Women Empowerment Foundation and partners will be hosting VOW 2023. Drum rolls. As you know, the VOW conference is an annual conference that Women Radio gets to host, and this year, VOW 2023, we're looking at the theme repositioning women for greater impact. And I am very excited for the theme of this year, having to look at repositioning women for greater impact ahead of 2027. First off, when it comes to the conversation of having more women in governance and leadership positions, this one is one conversation that we keep having in Nigeria. But this conference is set to look at action points, action plans, recognizing the potential that women actually carry and the need for us to actually bring women into these spaces. And VOW 2023 is also having to bring together thought leaders from across Africa to come and tell us how you were able to achieve it in these different countries. We're looking at countries like Namibia, or we're looking at Kenya. Come tell us how you were able to actually implement it, because it seems as though Nigerian women we've been exploring different options, different measures, but it's still not working out. If you look at the last election, about 96% of women lost their different positions that they ran for. And you're wondering, at what point in time do we actually make intentional effort to include women, Ibn Abo?
You see, one of the problems associated with that you just mentioned is because of the kind of politics we play in Nigeria. We play money politics. And that's why some people will tell you Nigerians are not ready to get out of the woods yet. They're not ready. Because when you play money politics, I mean, whoever is giving you that money is like, the person has paid you. So whatever the person does in the office, if elected, you shouldn't say a word because you have been paid. Whatever you're going to say has been bought. So you don't have a voice anymore. Until we get to a point where we understand that, we realize that when we allow ourselves to be bought over by some of these politicians, then whatever they roll out to us, whatever they do, thereafter, we should just keep quiet and take everything in, which is bad. Because you see, most of these men in politics, it has always been the men in this,
the political space.
Yes, space, and a woman coming in is a bit new, and then women do not spend money recklessly like some men would. So you see, even when the woman has the money, sometimes they'll tell you because she doesn't have it. Even if she has the money, she doesn't believe in reckless spending. The woman is a homekeeper. She's the financial what do I call it now? Yes, she's the Oga of finance of the home.
Okay.
She runs the business in the home, so she knows. So she knows that reckless spending is dangerous. So she wouldn't want to engage in that. And some men would spend even their last couple, they will even go borrowing, they will go get loan, they will get money from their godfathers to bribe their way through, to give people money to vote for them. Until we get ahead of money politics, we will always do the same thing. Apart from the fact that even some women don't believe that they should vote for a woman. For instance, when look at let's go to Lagos State. And look at Funke Akindele.
Okay.
Irrespective of the party she found herself. She wasn't in PDP, she was in another party. She would have experienced the exact same thing she experienced. Women were paid to embarrass their fellow woman, Funke Akindele. I saw the video and I felt bad.
I think it's that one where she was chased from a market.
And there was a video of women, let me say they waxed the record.
Yes, that one where they were singing and calling her names. Yes, I remember that one now. Yeah. Bringing all sorts of conversation about her personal life, yeah.
Exactly. These and some others were what they would do, throwing different shades at the women. So, as a woman, you don't want to be, you don't want to get entangled with all of that. So even if you're going to be a good leader, you don't want to, make yourself available because you don't want all those embarrassments.
Yeah.
So the kind of politics we play in Nigeria in the first place is a huge, discourager of whoever wants to go into politics if you're a woman. Then those who have taken the bold step to go into politics, even some women will not vote for them. They believe that she cannot do it or what. So a woman will not become governor over on top of me. So until we work on our mindset, you have to settle yourself first before you look at others. So before we even face the men and challenge them to the 35% affirmative action and all that, we have to work on ourselves as women first. Are we ready to support a fellow woman? That is a problem that we are yet to solve. What's that? So you see, and the men will take advantage of that anytime, any day. And then again, when a woman is appointed, she has to double up.
Yeah. So
much is expected from her. If she makes the same mistake a man made in that same office, her punishment, the way people will drag her, you understand?
Yeah.
Forgetting that no one is infallible. So you see, we have a lot to deal with. Once we have been able to sort all of these things out, more so the money politics we play, and how the dangerous politics we play, the politics that comes with thuggery. Imagine a woman on a podium addressing the people, and then the opposition party just comes up with some thugs and everything. What do you think?
Sure.
So all of these are very discouraging. And those who have taken the bold step to go into politics, they are being embarrassed by their fellow women. If women allow themselves to be used. Imagine a scenario where every woman says, no, don't make me embarrass my fellow woman because she wants to stand up against you in a contest or in an election. Imagine what everything will look like. Imagine a scenario where a woman is appointed and she gives in her best and makes everyone around her fall into his shadow because they cannot meet up. Imagine that. But I tell you, we are coming up. Things are changing. And with programs like this, conferences like VOW Conference, you understand? More light is being thrown in the dark places. People are getting to understand better. People are getting to realize and look. It's not a competition. It's about, Esther, let me talk about myself. When we were in the university, was it an all-girls lecture and an all-boys lecture? Every student would be under a lecturer. There wasn't a special class for the girls and a special class for boys. So, but when it comes to the real life, you want to segregate. So that is the problem. The men who have been calling the shots do not believe in the women yet. For whatever reason, are they afraid for the woman to do better than them? What are they afraid of? So there are so many things, and I know that I've looked, of course, Val conference, even the list of speakers.
Yeah.
You would know that this is real business, and I like the fact that the Kwara State governor is there, because that's one governor that has
included women,
yes,
over time in his cabinet. Very well.
And also, he has not forgotten the Gen Z. They have a Gen Z in the cabinet.
Yes, having young people involved. Yes, I mean the commitment is there to women and to youth, and he has been doing so amazing. So there's no how we're talking women without having Governor Abdulrazak Abdurrahman. It's not possible.
Honestly, it is so apt having him there. So you see, we and I want to commend Women Radio WFM 1.7 for their consistency. I remember the first VAL conference in Lagos. It was fantastic. It didn't look like the first one. It was like it was a subsequent one. And the fact that they are being consistent is a plus.
Yeah.
A women radio. I can just imagine when some people will hear women radio say, "Oh, women," they'll go so close down.
I don't know why people have that perception. I don't know why.
Yes. And it is so funny because you are a parent and you have daughters. And you have all the dreams and hopes and aspirations for these daughters of yours. And yet you don't believe in women. Why are you pulling both sides against the middle for yourself? You have daughters, you want them to be the best, and you don't believe in women. There are many people like that. So if you don't believe in women, there's somebody else who does not believe in your daughters.
Of course.
So it's a mindset that we have to work on. Nobody is a healthy competition. You see, when a competition is perceived as being healthy, a lot of all of this, nonsense will be pruned out of the competition, and then everybody will play on a level ground. And I hope and I believe that we are getting there. Yeah. It's a matter of time. Gradually, we are inching towards. After all, even in developed countries, they still have issues. So the stride that Nigeria is making, or we have made, is commendable. True. And I want to believe that with conferences like VAL conference, really? It is a big eye opener for some people who have refused to open their eyes.
Yes, because when you keep hearing these things, there's definitely going to be that shift in your mindset and the way you get to perceive these issues. Yes, I mean, VAL conference is upon us. VAL conference Wednesday, 25 October 2023 in Abuja, and we're having to look at the theme repositioning women for greater impact. I mean, Ibn Abo has said it, having people from across Africa come tell us how you've been able to include women in governance. And interestingly, we're going to be having our own Vice President Kashim Shettima at the event. We're also going to be having his counterpart in Liberia, Joel Taylor. We're going to be having some first ladies like the First Lady of Imo, Ebonyi, Ogun State, and definitely that when people gather like this to have conversations, that it's going to be like a change of mindset. So I know that's not the first time you're hearing the need for you to include women in governance or leadership positions, but when you keep hearing this, it actually fits that part of you that doesn't want to hear. So like Ibn Abbas said, even if you don't want to hear, the fact that we keep talking about it, you will hear and you would actually take on the things that you need to change and start your own change, because at the end of the day, we cannot always point fingers at the society. We, as the people, make up the society. The things that you and I get to do in our different spaces make up the ripple effect of whatever we see in our society. Okay, let's hear from this caller. Hello, good morning. Oh, do have to call us back on 07000 917 917 to be a part of this conversation, or you can send us a text or a WhatsApp message 070 56537. 24 minutes to 10 on Women Radio WFM 91.7 and this is Panorama. Panorama is where we have the ladies from different geopolitical zones come together to discuss, accept, and disagree on topical issues. And this morning, we're still discussing topical issues. We've had to touch on parent-children relationship and parents being receptive to kind acts and loving actions from their children, being able to open yourself up to it. Then we've also spoken about VOW Conference 2023 being organized by Women Radio 91.7. An annual conference this year is the 7th edition of the conference, and you can tell that with the theme repositioning women for greater impact, it promises to be an amazing one. So this one is scheduled to hold on Wednesday, October 25, 2023 at the NAV Conference Center in Abuja. Now, moving over to the next story here, I saw this one, and the first thing that came to my mind is, one, poverty. Poverty came to mind. Two, when push comes to shove sometimes, people know better, but the ability to actually do better when under certain pressure or you find yourself in certain situations can really be hard, Ibinabo. And this story is about the lady who connived with her mother to sell her child for 450,000 naira. In Nigeria of today, when you hear 450,000, that money no menu. But I can understand that there are people who probably will hear this sum of money and think, oh, there's so many things I can do with it. There are people who probably have their meal routine as 001 currently. So if they see this money, for a parent whose child has been out of school for so long, you would actually be shocked that even with the way some states have public secondary schools for children and public primary schools for children, some parents still cannot afford to keep their children in school by just paying the fees or paying for the uniforms. You'd actually be shocked. So when such families or such persons, they're able to do any kind of business that will give them 450,000, you'd actually think it's a lot. But that money is not a lot, and it's not worth a life. No amount of money is worth a life. This lady that has been arrested now, she and her mother, they connived to sell her baby. So both the lady involved, her mother, and the people buying on the other end, everybody is guilty. Because how do you want to sell somebody, a human being? There are procedures as to how to go about proper adoption. I know the process can be tedious, yes, because we actually have to be sure that where that child is going to, that it is safe and it's not for just any reasons. That you just want a child just because you want a child to carry on your name. No, because you understand what it takes to actually raise a child. Sometimes it can be very harsh when you say to people, do you have what it takes to raise a child? People are just thinking money. They're thinking, oh yes, I'll buy diaper, I'll buy formulas for the baby. That's not where it stops. Having the right words to raise children, it matters. The kind of environment you are going to raise your children in, it matters. A lot of adults that you see today who you think or you perceive as being broken, or there are things that they need to fix about themselves, the foundation actually, it started off where they were raised as children, the kind of words that were spoken to them. If some people had the opportunity to be able to rewrite their stories, you would actually be shocked to see the kind of things that people will write. But here, this woman, the mother and the child who sold this other baby, you cannot put it past poverty, Binabo. People are going through a lot. People are struggling. The other people who were willing to part with this money to get the baby also, they have a lot of questions to answer. Because why? What happened to following due process?
Esther, you see, I do agree that when push comes to shove, sometimes you are beside yourself. It's like, is this me? But then again, I want to say that, are they the only ones in the situation we're having? We have over 200 million people. And I want to believe that there are over 50 million people living below poverty line. So these people are just, let's say they are 10 put together. They're just 10 over 50 million. The percentage is insignificant. Now, what do you say to parents who go out there to engage in different, you know, some parents, Nigeria has become like abroad where people have they have multiple jobs. And by the time they put together all the money they made from this multiple jobs is nothing. But they still, yeah, life goes on. Yeah, we keep pushing it. You see, things are happening, and they are very worrisome. Last month, I think we discussed it. A baby was thrown into a river somewhere in Badagry by the mother. But a good Samaritan who was nearby quickly dived into the river and rescued the baby. I saw a follow-up video of the lady when she was being interviewed by some persons. And she talked about, she said, all what she was saying, I was moved to tears. But that you threw your baby, I could read in between what she was saying that this woman don't know herself again. She's completely depressed. And people were, calling out for help for her, this and that, medically, and so on like that. And that was the much I could, gather from the video I watched.
Okay.
Now, yes, times are hard, but the act perpetrated is evil, Esther.
It is.
If her mother had told her, would she have had the chance to give birth to the child she sold for 450,000 naira? I mean, we have to ask some very salient questions. One would have thought that, a grandma conniving with her daughter to sell her grandchild would be a fat chance. But here we are.
Yeah.
She was a collaborator. The grandma was a collaborator.
Makes it worse, really.
So you see, what I see, I know that the economy is bad. I know that people are going crazy already. But what I see here is, you see, I feel this inordinate pursuit of money, which is the precursor of their action. You want, maybe the small money, 2,000, 3,000 they are making, it's not okay for them. They want that lump sum, that huge amount of money, which is selfish. Why should you sell your own child because you want to lay your hands on some bulk money? It's unfair, it's wicked, it's not right.
Another area to look at it from Ibn Abo probably will be that they have factored in all of the responsibilities that comes with keeping the baby, keeping that child, and they cannot bear the bills. So they just thought this was an easy way out to do away with the baby, but it's not.
Esther, what would, because right now I'm not the judge, but I formed my opinion. What would temper my thoughts, my anger, would be that probably she was raped. If she was a rape victim and in the course of that she got pregnant, and you begin to, it's bad what they did totally on every side, but you want to begin to, look at it somehow, that kind of a thing. She wasn't prepared and now she got pregnant and she wouldn't even want to, the baby will keep bringing back the memory of what happened to her and everything. So she would want to give out the baby to somebody and all that. Even at that, there is something about, there's a lady I know, but it's a long time. I don't know where she is today. But I hear that she's taking good care of that baby. She was raped and she got pregnant. And you can imagine the trauma she went through. She tried to do something, but it didn't work. Eventually, she had this baby. Her story was, the moment she set her eyes on the baby, every hatred. So she said sometimes she would refuse to eat, believing she was stabbing the baby. I said, Mumu, you didn't starve yourself. You understand? That was hard. She was traumatized. But the moment she had the baby, as she saw the baby, the innocence of the baby had nothing to do with everything she went through. She was able to gradually get bonded with this baby. There is something about babies, Esther. Their helplessness, their innocence.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you look at all of the situation around you, look where I come from. I'm from River State and a Kalabari tribe of River State. Adoption is something that is age long there. I know some families, some women, even a woman who does not. There's a woman who her husband is dead. Maybe she's a widow or what. But I know that she's one woman. She's a bit of a senior citizen. She should be in her 50s or she should be in her 60s. And she had a 5-year-old. And I was like, when did this woman? So I was told that she adopted from somebody. And what is obtainable where I come from, by tradition, the people will be, the villagers will be, the community members will be involved, the chief will be involved, and you give up this child to this person. You cannot come back and claim this child.
I see.
And then you begin to, everywhere she went, will see her. How did I notice her? She was always with this girl. I said, this is a good grandmother. And they said, no, it's her child. You guys get Bele? This woman don't see your son. So they now said, no, she adopted the child. And it was not a big deal. People do it where I come from. And they take care of these children. And I don't know. And nobody, and I had witnessed a burial where the woman had no biological child of hers. She adopted 2 children, a guy and a lady and a boy and a girl. As of then, they're now full, they're now grown men and man and woman. The way they took care of her and her burial, it became the talk of the town. So you see, there are circumstances that will warrant you to want to adopt a child. But if you are in a system whereby the adoption process is so cumbersome, it's another problem. But then if you speak with the people on the other side of the table where the adoption is being done, they will tell you that they had to put these people through this so that they are very sure that these people can really take care of the baby. That is the reason for the cumbersome nature of the adoption process, which sometimes is like, I beg. Some people are very patient. They know what they want to do. They will be very patient with whatever you want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
They have their ulterior motive. So whatever it is, it doesn't look good, Esther. It does not look good. You've given up your own baby. Your baby. I can't process it. I find it difficult to swallow. I tell you. I know that a lot of people are in the roughest storms of their lives. There's so much confusion. There's a lot of fear, uncertainty, regrets, hopelessness, helplessness, name it. But in all that you're going to do to make ends meet, you want to sell your own child. I find it difficult to stand with you. I don't see it. Because I see, look at the Punch underpass, Esther. There are women there begging for alms, and they have children. They are homeless. Sometimes I wonder how they cope when the weather is very cold. And they go about. I'm not encouraging it, but they're not selling their children. So I don't want to understand your economic situation that would warrant you to want to sell your child. If you are giving up your child for adoption, there should be process. I think we should begin to look at the customary processes that has to do with adoption. Like we have where I come from. I don't know whether they have it in other places. So that things like this, it will not look like you are selling your child. Because if you are truly giving up your child for adoption, why are you being paid that money? If you truly need somebody to take care of this child, why are you being paid such an amount of money? And probably you collect receipt self. So you buy commodity.
It is sad.
It's something. I know the economy is bad. People are in bad places. They are in the roughest storms of their lives. But this is not it. This will not cut out. And no. No.
All right. Thank you so much, Ibinabo, for lending your voice to this one, really. And I'm glad that the baby has been recovered from both of them and they're having to answer to authorities on this one. I really hope that that baby doesn't go back to them. Yeah, I hope so. Because one can only, you can't tell what their next move would be. And again, even if they don't attempt selling this child again, they probably would always feel a certain way about this child, hating on the child, about how the child has made their lives or whatever it is, the consequences of their action from this one that they've been caught, what they will have to go through. So there might be a lot of hatred for this child to deal with if this child is given back to them. But I hope that the child would not be. Again, regardless of the economic hardship, having to take to crime of any sort is not the way to go. I'm thinking they probably thought she be now picking more salam. It's not. There's nothing like your picking when it comes to crime. The government will definitely take its focus. So you have to just think about your actions. It's not just about you. Think about that baby. Where is the baby going to? What kind of background check did you do on that family that you want to give the baby to? Like, there's so many things involved. But, at that point in time, they probably were just looking at the sum of money. But that money is not involved, though. It's not just about the money. There's so many other things to look at. Thank you so much, Ibinabo, for being on the program today.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Esther. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, thank you. Do have a good day. And there we have it on Panorama. It's a wrap today. Do well to join us again tomorrow at 9:05 as we get to discuss, accept, and disagree on topical issues Mondays through Fridays, 9:05. My name is Esther Alaribe. Up next is Radio Doctor with Rose Yusuf Kesar, and we're discussing diphtheria in children this morning.
WFM 91.7.